Alright, welcome back to the Super Coach Nuff channel. In today's video, we're looking at the NRL Fantasy and Sportsdeck teams after round 12 of the 2023 NRL season. Someone's on the PA system outside there, don't know what's going on. But as you can see, we'll start with the NRL Fantasy. So, round 12, if we go back, we scored 953 points, which, it's an evacuation at the apartment building up the road. That sucked in. But yeah, 953 for round 12. So I keep getting distracted. So as we see, Harry Grant with a 43. That's fine. We'll cop that. Harry Edwards with 37. So solid effort from him. He started off the bench, but did play big minutes. Zaya Yo with a 62. So that's solid as ever. Jermaine Hopgood with 69. So we brought him in for Cam Murray a few weeks ago, and I think that's worked out to be a really good trade. Jacob Preston with 67, so looking good. If we can hold him this week, then he's going to be really handy for the rest of the sort of origin period, and then, it could be a season-long keeper. Jack Kajeski, so 22 is probably not the greatest for a second rower that we hope is starting. I'm not sure if he played 80 minutes, maybe with Luciano Leilua back in. He might have missed out on some time there on the edge. Nathan Cleary, so we had him as vice captain, but 106 would have been really nice to get the double on. But again, we have to pick one, and you're not always going to pick the right option. Nico Hines. Scored 82, which we obviously got doubled as captain. So we weren't that far off the pace by going him over Cleary, but 20 points is 20 points. Alamotti with a 30, Lemuela with 38, so solid effort from those guys. Ruben Garrick with 58, so obviously benefited from the big performance from Manly. Lockie Miller with a 23, so he's been a bit disappointing in the last few weeks, but the reason why we got him is because of the nice buy coverage that he's got coming up. And Dream Buller, so this has been a great pick for us, 63 on the weekend. We're going to hold him because he probably has a negative break even. I should have opened that up before we started. But he's definitely one we're not trading anytime soon. And then on the bench, we had Damien Cook with 52, and I guess fortunately for us, he's missed selection for the Origin team. Obviously disappointing for him, but does give us a really nice starting hooker. Jay Granville with an 18, so if we can, we might try to use that money and upgrade him. I think we don't really need 18 points on the bench when we've got a bit of money to spend. Wiremu Greg, so 43, looked really good. Just a question over how many minutes he gets if Joe Ofahengawe does come across. I haven't quite looked into the details around that trade. Initially, it was immediate, then it was the Tigers are holding off. Whether it was for this week, and then they have the buy or whatever it was, I don't know. And then Nikorima was obviously the pick of the two Dolphins halves, Katoa with 20, only getting 50 minutes of game time, so they could accommodate Anthony Milford for whatever reason. So in terms of our team this week, I guess it's easiest just to start with trading everyone in. Granville's going to have to go on the bench. Greg can swap there. Nikorima, swap. Katoa, swap. Jackson Ford hopefully is available. Swap. And nickel clock start. So, just looking at this, there's only 1, 2 on the buy. We've got Granville, so we've got 12, which is pretty nice. And just looking through those 12, there's no origin issues. Obviously, Isaiah Yo is playing origin, so that's neither here nor there. But like I said, we do have 250k to spend. It's not ideal, but we could trade Granville because I mean, if we look at everyone else, um, I mean, Joey Manu, we hope is a keeper. Alamotti, he's providing a bit of coverage for us, but I guess if anyone is expendable, it's probably him. Or we could get out of Isaiah Yo. So he's obviously done a amount of work for us, but he's not much use to us through this origin period, particularly if the Panthers want to try to manage his minutes a bit and that sort of thing. Um, so I guess what we could look at doing is using the Isaiah Yo money, um, and then maybe the luxury of Granville out, but 1.5 mil. So I think the obvious target is Ryan Madison. Well, it says he's injured. Don't know what's going on there. Already committed to him and some other teams that I've got this week. So we can get him and we can get most anyone else. So is that? So well, if we just do that trade first, because when you do two trades, it sometimes goes a bit funny. Do we want a centre? Probably not really. Who do we want? Haas is playing Origin. SJ could be a good shout. Moses, I'd rather not. Dylan Brown, what's his value like? 764. Oh, Tohu, actually, that's a bit of a bargain. Can we afford? We can. That could be some really good trading, I reckon. Yeah, take Harris over Granville. That'd be fantastic. So we won't go too nuts. We've obviously got four trades if we want, but yeah, I don't think we need to go that extreme. So, well, yeah. Guess what we could do is we'll do Hopgood, get Jeski on the bench. Because, man, he could be the other one that we could potentially get out of if his minutes aren't there. Maybe we can actually have a look. Would be a good idea. Round 13. There we go. So maybe it was just because they got pumped, but let's have a look. Be down towards the end here. Kajeski, 50 minutes. Yeah. So Fina Fuiaki maybe stealing some time off him there. That looks like the obvious issue. Well, Lukey played 50. What did the late Lord play? Oh, 60. Okay, so some weird rotation there with their back row. Might be a good one to get out of, I would have thought. And I'll get out of the match centre. Just go back. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll maybe give him one more week, see how he goes. Yeah, because well, I guess the other option, if we just reverse the trades, let's roll back the whole team. Why not do that? Oh, yeah. No, Granville stays. Greg, Nick Rima, Katoa, Ford, and CNK. Yeah, so I was thinking if we get rid of the sort of dead weights, but then that still doesn't give us any extra players for the week. We still got 12 players. Yeah, so that's probably not the right play. I think we look at all the options, I think Yo is the one that's expendable. Although he's not really. So, I mean, maybe we just run with 12 and save all the trades. Unless, can we do something funky with these two with Skajeski? And, we do like a one up, one down sort of situation. So, I just realised I'm going to have to fix the team before I do that. It's not going to work. So I say, Yo, come back. Oh, good, you swap. So they're both on the bench. So we can get out of them. If we go Tohu, that value price gives us 374 to spend. So let's have a look who we could get. Players I can afford. So yeah, Tafari, if he's in, would be the obvious choice. After that, it's a bit flat. Tyrell Sloan not going back there. Kalen Ponga's playing, so Gamble's not even a 1 week shout. Couchman as a dual position option, maybe. Yeah, so I think we just wait for the teams to be picked and we just go cheapy that's playing. So like a Tafare, for example, and so then he'd obviously start. Harris would start, and just the way it's worked out. I don't know, so yeah, that's right because we just went like for like. So still got 12, which isn't the best, but might not be the worst either. When we look, we've got one, two, three Bulldog or four if you include Buller, so they'll play in the next lot of buys. And we'll obviously be getting out of the likes of Katoa, Nicarima. Yeah, so I guess that's the other thing too is we are starting to run out of trades, so maybe we've got to have one eye on the Finnish team as well. But yeah, I guess I'll have a bit more of a think about that. We've got plenty of time. But we'll do a quick rundown of the sports deck. So 1017, so another 1,000. Not quite as good of a rank as last week, but have pushed up in the overall again. So we'll take that. And as you can see, like Supercoach, you've got an extra trade this week if you so wish. So the different players, maybe Marshall King with a 38. So again, another one who probably underperformed at hooker. Olaquatu with a 21. So you'd think the way Manly attacked that he would have done a bit better, but that's okay. Oluwapu, so 32. That's pretty solid actually for Sportsdeck. Tommy Talau might be a bit of a dud, 9. Warbrick, 32. Ponga with a 32. Obviously will be valuable for us this week. The rest I think we've talked about at one point or another. So let's have a look. This week we've got Marshall King. Let's get rid of the reserves. We've got Kepi, which has probably worked out okay. We've got Ford. We've also got Schuster. Don't have a half, which is pretty funny. We've got 4 of them and they're all out. Only got 1 centre and got 4 here. Okay. So maybe we could do a trade to get Garrick out into the centres. How much money we got? So we got 230k as well, which is nice. So we could go get out of Talau because that's a dud pick. We don't even want him for later buy coverage. And then I think the other one that's fairly expendable would be Warbrick. So again, this is probably somewhat dependent on having a cheap option to come in. Let's have a look who went big this week. Turbo, nice. Taruva's on the bye, that's a bit flat. We got rid of him. Nothing stands out. Ockenball did alright, scored that try. Yeah, Campbell would have been good if he was playing this week as a little pot option. Yeah, nothing really jumps out of this. Sevo, a bit expensive. Because I guess as well, we need a cheap option as well as a solid option. So there's definitely plenty of solid options. Probably the most solid would be leaning towards, where is he? Didn't do that well this week, obviously. Can't find it. Lachlan Miller. There we go. Yeah, it's a bit flat. Yeah, so then we've got 300k to spend. They're all pretty cheap. It's going to be, we're going to get a cheap option like a Brendan Elliott or something from the Cowboys. I think there will be an option somewhere. It's just a question of where it pops up. So if we go by average, oh, that's right. So maybe, we don't swap. We just go to Faro. It could be something like that. It all just depends on who gets named. But we'll do those trades just for the purpose of the video. So we've got Garrick, we've got Clockstad. Oh, who do you want to bench? Maybe Miller. Could be dangerous. So the two Dolphins. And then full forward packs, I've got 6, 7. What's that? 5 at the backs, 12, and so we get 13, which is probably all we need for this team this week. And then just captain, vice captain. We obviously can't rely on the regulars, so I think we go Marshall King as the sort of vice captain option against the Dragons. And then it's really our choice. Could go Hopgood or Tarpany as a solid captain, and probably Hopgood would make the most sense. So we'll just go like that, and obviously loophole built in here very nicely. So that's how the teams are shaping up. Obviously, if you've got any other thoughts, feel free to comment below. Like the video if you are enjoying the content. Subscribe to the channel to keep up with all the other videos that are coming out. And other than that, I'll catch you in the next one.